Lord has already prepared for you. And stay until the end, because a prayer is coming, a powerful covering from the throne room of God that will seal what has been spoken today. And so, chosen one, let us go deeper. What you must understand now is this, that gathering this ancient, sacred meeting was not something anyone could stumble upon. It was not announced, it was not shared, it was summoned, and it unfolded in a place that cannot be found on any map, not even whispered of in forgotten scriptures or buried scrolls. This realm is not like our own. It does not obey the laws of light and gravity. It is a place where shadows don't just fall, they move with intention, where silence isn't the absence of sound, but a living presence, pressing into the soul like a hand gripping tightly around the heart. The very atmosphere pulses with secrets older than creation, older even than the stars that first marked the sky. There are no walls there, no windows, just the endless weight of eternity folding in on itself. Time does not pass, it waits. And then it came. A sound, not a sound heard with ears, but with spirit. A vibration, ancient and low, like the groaning of the earth in labor. It was not a message, but a summoning. A tear ripped through the quiet of reality, and from it they emerged. Beings not of flesh, but of shadow and hunger. Some of them shimmered like broken glass, refracting light into patterns the human eye could not bear. Others moved like smoke through the cracks of existence, and still others arrived cloaked in silence so deep it swallowed every echo of hope. They gathered not for war, not for conquest, but for something far more urgent. A name had been spoken. Your name. It wasn't shouted. It didn't need to be. It landed in that room like lightning splitting a tree in two, clean, violent, undeniable. And everything stopped. Not in fear, not yet, but in wonder. Why you? Why now? Their confusion was almost tangible. But there was one among them who did not flinch. A figure cloaked in a darkness thicker than night itself. He rose slowly, his presence a void, drawing in even the flicker of light that dared to approach. And when he said your name, it wasn't just sound, it was judgment. It was a declaration, a recognition. What they saw in that moment was not the version of you the world knows, not the weary soul who has quietly suffered, not the one who has struggled in silence, cried behind closed doors, or questioned your worth in the middle of the night. No. What they saw was the part of you they tried to erase. The fire, the legacy, the spark planted in you by the breath of the Most High before the foundations of the world were laid. And now they tremble not because of who you've been, but because of who you are becoming. The ancient ones believed your story had ended before it began. They scattered lies like ashes over your life, lies that told you you were average, broken, powerless, but the truth has never changed. The Lord who formed the mountains and poured the seas into their basins is the same one who crafted you with purpose, calling you by name before the earth had shape. As it is written, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. John 1-5. And that light, chosen one, it burns in you. It flickers in the way you've kept moving forward, even when no one saw your pain. It blazes in your hunger for truth, your quiet defiance against despair, your longing to remember something your soul has always known but your mind had forgotten. That meeting was never meant to intimidate you. It was meant to reveal what has been hidden from you. They did not speak your name to curse you. They spoke it because your presence is now too powerful to ignore. The legacy you carry, the calling that has followed you in dreams, in aches, in whispers you could never quite explain, is awakening, like a lion roused from sleep, like fire breathing again beneath the ash. And those who dwell in the shadows, they are not confused anymore. They know exactly who you are, and soon you will too. And now, chosen one, with your name still echoing in the halls of the unseen, another truth begins to rise, one even more threatening to the forces that gathered in secret. Because this is no random spark flickering in the dark. This is the reawakening of a lineage, a holy bloodline, a covenant written not in ink, but in eternity. You do not walk alone. You never have. You come from a line of souls who refused to bow when fear whispered lies into the ears of men, warriors not of war, but of unwavering trust, carriers of a sacred fire that the darkness could never extinguish. These were not just ancestors in flesh, they were vessels of purpose, men and women who stood firm when the ground beneath them trembled, who praised the name of the Most High when the world around them fell silent with dread. Think of Esther, chosen for such a time as this, who stood before a king to save her people with nothing but courage and obedience. Think of Elijah, who stood alone on Mount Carmel against prophets of darkness, yet fire from heaven fell at his call. These weren't accidents. They were echoes, foreshadows of the same boldness now being stirred in you. The courage they carried is not gone. It did not disappear into the dust of time. It has merely been waiting in the marrow of your bones, in the breath of your lungs, in the rhythm of your beating heart. Their fire has passed to you, because you were never meant to simply remember their strength. You were meant to embody it. And that is why the shadows fear you. When your name was spoken, it wasn't just a moment. It was an alarm, a breach in their false sense of triumph. Because they didn't just hear a name, they felt the tremor of a legacy awakening. The one cloaked in darkness, towering and still, broke the silence, not with fury, but with a cold, heavy truth. He didn't speak of what you did. He named what you are. A bloodline, he said. Not of royalty or noble birth as the world defines it, but of something far older, infinitely more sacred. A line that traces back to a covenant sealed in the breath of God himself. A promise carved into the fabric of the eternal, untouched by time, unshaken by rebellion. They had tried to erase it. They had rewritten their stories to exclude you. They had buried the truth under centuries of silence and shadows, hoping it would never rise again. But they were wrong. For what is written in the stars cannot be erased by those who dwell in the dark. He remembers his covenant forever, the promise he made for 1,000 generations. Psalm 105:8. And while they danced in their delusion, believing your light had died, the Lord watched, quietly, faithfully. He walked with you through valleys no one else saw, through heartbreak that no one understood, through silence so deep it threatened to drown your voice, but he never left. In the hours when your prayers were choked by tears, in the nights when you questioned your very worth, in the moments you considered giving up completely, he was there. He was the strength beneath your weakness, the whisper that refused to let your spirit go silent, the fire that never quite went out, no matter how heavy the darkness became. And now they know. The truth that once terrified them in rumor is now standing on the edge of reality. You are not a memory. You are a movement. You are not just descended from warriors. You are the continuation of their fight. You do not carry the legacy like a relic. You are the legacy walking. This is not simply about where you've come from. It's about who you are becoming, not tomorrow, not someday, but right now. You are not ordinary. You are not invisible. You are not behind. You are rising, carrying a promise they could not bury, a fire they cannot contain, a calling they can no longer silence. And whether the world is ready or not, the light in you has already begun to shine. And now, as the truth continues to unfold, there is something deeper you must understand, something sacred that stretches far beyond what was spoken in that gathering of shadows. Because everything you've endured until now, every time life struck you down and you stood back up, every moment you refused to let go of hope, even when everything around you was falling apart, those were not random acts of survival. No, chosen one, those were acts of inheritance, of testimony, of the covenant moving through your veins, proving itself stronger than the darkness that tried to drown it. Each of your victories, quiet and unseen, was a roar in the spiritual realm, a signal that the ancient promise still lives in you. They have tried to silence that signal. Oh, how they've tried. They sent storms disguised as doubt, whispering confusion into your thoughts until you questioned your worth, your voice, your very sanity. They placed mountains in your path, not just to slow you, but to convince you you'd never move forward again. They used betrayal, hoping the wounds left by people you trusted would be deep enough to break your will. They sent heartbreak to crack your heart wide open, loss to hollow out your soul, fear to freeze your steps. They did not attack you because you were weak. They attacked you because you carry something eternal, and they hoped pain would be enough to make you forfeit it. But you didn't. You're still here, still breathing, still rising. Why? Because the very fires they lit to destroy you became the forge where your strength was born. The Lord, in His sovereignty, used every weapon they raised against you to shape you not into something bitter, but into something unshakable. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, they shall not overwhelm you. For I am the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, your Savior. Isaiah 43:2-3. This is what they couldn't understand, that your resilience was never about human strength. It was divine design. They thought they could break you, but every blow only awakened what was already inside you, a light they cannot comprehend, a fire they cannot put out. And now, finally, they see it. They know your spirit cannot be bought, silenced, or shattered. You are a fire lit by the breath of the Almighty, and that fire is spreading. You are not just surviving, you are transforming. And transformation terrifies them more than anything. This meeting in the shadows, this dark council of resistance, was not a celebration of victory, it was a scramble, a panic, because they uncovered a truth they hoped would remain buried forever, that you are stepping into the fullness of who you were created to be. You are no longer just a name on a list. You are becoming the fulfillment of prophecy. This is not just about what you've endured. It's about what's being awakened inside you now. You are not the same person you were in yesterday's pain. You are becoming the answer to prayers prayed generations before you, the embodiment of a promise stretching across bloodlines and lifetimes, a purpose wrapped in skin, a divine mission walking the earth. You are the moment they feared would come, not because you are loud, not because you are perfect, but because you know now, and in knowing, you cannot be controlled. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. Isaiah 54:17. You were never made to break. You were made to rise again and again until the earth itself must acknowledge the strength of what was placed in you by the hand of God. And now, the shadows feel it. The atmosphere around you has shifted. The weight of destiny is pressing forward. They know what's coming. They sense the approaching moment when you will fully wake up, fully rise, fully walk in the identity they spent ages trying to bury. And when that moment comes, their hold on you ends forever. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your unveiling. You are not just part of a legacy. You are the legacy in motion, and no force in hell or on earth can stop what heaven has already ordained. And so, the revelation continues. The truth uncovered in that hidden gathering wasn't meant to frighten you, it was meant to awaken you. And now that you've glimpsed it, the resistance will not be subtle. No, chosen one, the shadows will not retreat quietly. In the days to come, they will come for your focus, not with roaring storms, but with distractions dressed as doubts, with whispers stitched into the silence of your thoughts. They'll try to pull your eyes away from the reflection in the mirror, the one where you're finally beginning to see the warrior rising within, the warrior who has always been there, hidden beneath layers of hurt, shame, and silence. They will point to your past and try to paint it as your prison. They'll say you've made too many mistakes, taken too many wrong turns, and that your history is a chain too heavy to break. They'll mock your dreams, saying they're too bold for someone like you, that your vision is too large for your capacity. They want you to shrink, to forget, to believe that your scars disqualify you. But the scars you carry, they are not proof of failure. They are evidence of survival. They are the sacred markings of battles fought in secret and victories won in silence. Every tear, every heartbreak, every moment you nearly gave up, those weren't signs of weakness. They were the sound of your roots digging deeper. They were the evidence that you were being prepared for something greater than anything they could comprehend. And though you didn't always see it, you were never fighting alone. For every sleepless night, the Lord was beside you. For every silent cry, His hand was on your heart. For every time you thought you were at your end, He was whispering, "Not yet. Keep going. You are closer than you think." The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalm 34:18. He did not simply watch, He protected. He shielded your spirit from attacks meant to destroy you before your time. He stood between you and the full weight of what was sent against you. And while they celebrated what looked like your breaking, heaven was busy building you. Every setback, a setup for strength. Every delay, a divine alignment. Every detour, a part of the map only He could read. Now the time has come, not for retreat, but for revelation. Not to question your worth, but to walk in it. The mantle is already on your shoulders. You have been called not to blend in, but to shift the world around you. You were never created to be silent. You were never meant to hide your light under the weight of unworthiness. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 60:1. This is the hour, the turning point. And though the world may still see you through a blurred lens, the heavens and the shadows see clearly now. That's why the resistance feels personal, because it is. The moment you awaken fully to who you are, everything built to keep you small begins to tremble. They're not afraid of who you've been, they're afraid of who you are becoming. Because they know, as surely as the stars were spoken into existence, that you carry the power to disrupt their systems, unravel their strongholds, and scatter seeds of light in places that have been starved of hope for generations. This battle isn't waiting in the future, it's already here. But you are not arriving unarmed. You are arriving equipped, clothed in resilience, wrapped in grace, and backed by the promise of the Almighty. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31:6. You were not just prepared for this, you were destined for this. Every season of silence was a sanctuary. Every painful moment was part of the molding. The fire was not sent to consume you, it was sent to refine you. What remains now is not fragile, it is pure power, purpose, identity, a calling that has survived storms because it was born of heaven. And here is the truth, one that breaks through every lie they ever spoke over you. You were never meant to survive just to see another day. You were meant to transform every space you step into, to carry a light so radiant it alters the atmosphere, to be a living answer to someone else's prayer, to walk in a way that reminds the world that heaven still speaks and still sends. You are not forgotten, not overlooked, not too late. You are right on time. There is a deeper layer still unfolding. Chosen one more sacred than name, deeper than assignment, older even than the covenant passed down through blood and spirit. What is stirring within you now cannot be reduced to awakening alone. This is not merely the turning of a page, it is the construction of an entirely new language between your soul and the divine. You are not being reawakened, you are being remade. Heaven is rebuilding you not around the old structures of who you were, but from the foundations of who you were always meant to become. From the inside out, piece by piece, breath by breath. And this process, though often silent, often unseen, has been more intentional than you could have imagined. You thought you were just surviving the pressure. enduring the storm, bearing the weight of endless nights. But every moment of hardship was a layer in a larger blueprint. A sacred architecture has been taking shape within you, framed in perseverance, wired with divine patience, and sealed by fire. What broke you open wasn't meant to destroy you, it was designed to deepen you. The isolation you resented, it was heaven's invitation to intimacy. The silence that haunted you, it was space being carved for revelation. The delays, the disappointments, the detours, each one created room for wisdom, compassion, resilience, discernment, room for glory. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Psalm 127:1. And so he has been building, quietly, faithfully, lovingly, layer upon layer, shaping within you a sanctuary strong enough to host the weight of glory you're being entrusted to carry. This is why your path has never looked like anyone else's. You were never meant to walk the worn roads. You were not created for average callings or surface-level victories. You carry something eternal, therefore your formation required fire. Chosen vessels are not mass-produced. They are handcrafted in the hidden places. What you've called weakness, he has called preparation. What you saw as breakdown, he called breakthrough in disguise. And now, something holy is beginning to manifest. Without you even trying, the atmosphere shifts when you walk into a room. Not because of charm or charisma, but because your spirit is harmonizing with heaven. Conversations bend, walls crack, chains rattle, peace settles. The light in you disturbs what is counterfeit and strengthens what is true. You have become, perhaps without realizing it, a living threshold, a place where heaven meets earth. This is why some are drawn to you but don't know why. Others pull away, not out of malice, but because your presence stirs what they are not yet ready to confront. That's not your burden to carry. It's simply the evidence of spiritual resonance. But make no mistake, this shift is not just emotional. It is not intellectual. It is dimensional. What is happening in you is causing tremors in places you cannot see. You are coming into alignment with the divine rhythm written for your life, and every alignment releases waves that push back darkness and rewire the landscape around you. This is why some things are breaking, why some relationships feel suddenly misaligned, why what once made sense now feels hollow. This is not confusion, it is recalibration. Heaven is rearranging your life to match the blueprint of your calling. And this shift, it comes with gravity, the spiritual kind. You are stepping into a realm where you no longer chase purpose. Purpose finds you. Where doors open that no man can shut, and divine appointments come without striving. Where your prayers no longer rise from desperation, but from authority. You are being entrusted with more now. Not because of what you've achieved, but because of who you've become. Heaven sees the vessel, hollowed, humbled, holy, and deems it ready. Now you are being positioned to carry what cannot be taught or trained into others. You will speak words that unravel spiritual knots. You will stand in spaces previously claimed by darkness and reclaim them not with force, but with presence. A presence born not of ego, but of being anchored in truth. Because that is who you are becoming. Not just a name in a story, but a catalyst in the kingdom, a forerunner, a living response to generations of prayer, the one the shadows dreaded and the heavens prepared for. You are being refined not only for influence, but for impact, the quiet kind that shakes walls, the gentle kind that rewrites futures. And when you rise fully into this version of yourself, something irreversible will happen. The atmosphere will respond. Chains will fall that you never even touched. People will be changed just by being near you. Because what is coming through you is not simply light. It is revelation made flesh. This is not the end of your becoming. This is the day the earth begins to recognize you. Look again, chosen one, not with the weary eyes of survival, but with the eyes of awakening. Look at your life not as a burden you've had to carry, but as a story that has been carefully written, shaped, and guarded, even in the moments when it felt like everything was unraveling. Do you see it? Beneath the ordinary rhythm of your days, beneath the clutter, the chaos, and the quiet disappointments, there are signs, glimpses of grace woven into your existence like golden threads, the breath that fills your lungs this very moment. It is not random. It is a sacred rhythm, a divine signature that whispers, "You are still here. You are still called." That heartbeat in your chest, constant, faithful, unwavering, it is a quiet drumbeat of purpose echoing from eternity. It keeps time not just with your body, but with the unfolding plan heaven has ordained for your life. Every morning you rose when you could have stayed down. Every time you chose to try again when everything in you said to quit. Every moment when the weight of the night didn't crush your spirit entirely, those were not accidents. Those were divine appointments with endurance. Silent battles seen only by the eyes of the Almighty. The people who stood by you when you didn't have words to ask for help. The peace that slipped quietly into your heart when nothing around you made sense. The subtle, unexplainable hope that found you in the middle of sorrow. These were not lucky breaks. They were fingerprints. His fingerprints. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow you all the days of your life. Psalm 23:6. You have walked through fires meant to consume you, but you emerged, not burnt, but refined. You've stood among the ruins of what you thought would be permanent, only to discover that hope still had breath. That's not your own doing. That's grace deep, quiet, and relentless. The truth is, these blessings, the strength, the mercy, the open doors, are not the end of what has been promised to you. They are only the beginning. There is more. There is always more. There are wells of provision that haven't yet been uncovered, doors opening even now that no darkness can close. Paths are being cleared through wilderness places where you thought there would never be a way forward. And though you may not yet see them, heaven sees you, always has. But this is not just about your personal journey. This is about the echo of your life, the reach of your obedience, the ripple of your courage. Because when you rise, others rise too. When you shine, others remember they were born to shine as well. When you speak light into your own darkness, someone else finds their voice. You've already seen it in small, sacred ways. A quiet conversation that stirred something in another soul. A moment when your presence calmed a storm in someone else's heart. That time when someone whispered, "I needed to hear that," and you didn't even know you were speaking healing. That is not a coincidence. That is purpose in motion. That is what happens when a vessel yields to the one who fills it. You become a carrier not just of strength, but of transformation, a reflection of divine resilience. You were never called to live tucked away, hidden by fear, or bound by past shame. You were called to pierce through the dark, to carry a light so rooted in love, so soaked in truth, that even shadows cannot deny its presence. This is why the darkness has fought so hard to keep you small, why it sent storms to disorient you, why it disguised lies as reason, hoping you'd settle for less than who you were created to be. Because the truth they uncovered in that shadowed meeting wasn't just that you exist, but that you are waking up. And they know what happens when someone like you wakes up. Chains break, cycles end, legacies shift. They threw betrayal at you, hoping it would shatter your trust. They whispered, "You're not enough," hoping you'd agree. They reminded you of every mistake, every wound, every missed step. But what they underestimated, what they will always underestimate, is what I have placed inside of you. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. Isaiah 43:1. That strength in you, it is not something you had to earn. It is not something the world gave, and so the world cannot take it away. It was woven into your soul before you breathed your first breath. a gift from the Creator, a birthright passed down not through flesh alone, but through covenant. The same power that sustained those who came before you, those who stood before giants, who walked through lions' dens, who sang in prison cells, is now alive in you. And you, chosen one, are not just surviving, you are becoming. You are stepping into the fullness of what was always written over your life. And no force in darkness can rewrite what heaven has already declared. Now that the truth has been revealed, now that you've begun to see the sacred thread running through every chapter of your story, it's time to take that revelation out of theory and bring it into motion. Because this awakening, chosen one, is not a single moment. It's not just a divine spark or an emotional stirring, it is a way of life. The call on your life was never meant to sit quietly in your spirit, hidden and untouched. It was always meant to be lived, breathed, and embodied. It's not enough to know who you are, you must become who you are. Let what has been awakened within you now find its way into how you walk, how you think, how you respond, how you carry yourself in this world. Awakening is not a destination, it is a daily rhythm. It begins each morning, not with the noise of the world, but with a whisper of truth from your own lips. Before your feet touch the floor, before you open your phone or scroll through the distractions, speak life over yourself. Speak truth over yourself. Declare, I am not forgotten, I am chosen, I am walking in divine purpose, I am aligned with heaven today. This is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual alignment. Just as the earth orients toward the sun each morning, your soul must orient toward truth. As it is written, let the morning bring me word of your unfailing love, for I have put my trust in you. Psalm 143:8. Because how you start your day sets the tone for how you carry your light. But it doesn't end there. The battlefield of identity is most often fought in the quiet corridors of your own mind. Thoughts will come uninvited, untrue, unkind, whispers of doubt, accusations, old wounds dressed up as facts. You cannot always control the arrival of these thoughts, but you are not required to host them. You have authority over what you entertain. When fear says you're not enough, respond with what is written. God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1-7. When shame says, you've failed too many times, remind yourself that His mercies are new every morning. Lamentations 3:23. This is how warriors think. This is how the awakened live. Not by avoiding the darkness, but by refusing to let it define them. And understand this, not every battle requires your voice. There is power in knowing when to speak and when to remain still. Silence is not weakness, it is wisdom wrapped in restraint. There are times when silence is your armor and stillness is your sword. You are being trained to move with discernment, to act not out of reaction but revelation. Even the spaces around you matter. The atmosphere you inhabit, your home, your car, your conversations, they all hold spiritual weight. Keep them sacred. Play songs that lift your spirit. Speak peace into the walls of your home. Clean out what pollutes your inner world. Your environment should reflect the truth of who you are, becoming a sanctuary, not a battlefield. But don't wait for grand gestures or public platforms to live your calling. Sometimes the greatest impact comes from the smallest obedience. Forgive quietly, help without being asked. Speak gently when frustration rises. Pray for someone you'll never meet. These acts may seem invisible, but they move heaven. They ripple through the unseen realm with power beyond what you can comprehend. For whatever you do for the least of these, you do unto me. Matthew 25-40. And do not neglect the vessel you live in, your body, your mind, your emotions. You are not only a spirit, you are a living temple. Eat what strengthens you. Rest when you're weary. Step away from what drains your soul or clouds your clarity. Protect your peace like it is sacred, because it is. Spend time in communion with your Maker, not just in structured prayer, but in sacred stillness. In the quiet between tasks, in the pause between conversations, ask, "What would you have me do next?" This is how guidance flows into surrendered spaces. And, above all, let love be the rhythm of your life. Love that is not performative, but powerful. Love that chooses compassion when it's undeserved. Love that forgives deeply, that listens with patience, that speaks not to impress, but to heal. Love is not weakness. Love is divine weaponry. As it is written, above all, put on love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. Colossians 3:14. To walk in your true identity,